What would you do if you had a customer tell you to your face that they were about to tip bait you? Would you take the order back to the store? Would you continue about your day like nothing happened? Or would you give the customer a piece of your mind? Let me know in the comments. In this video, I'm going to talk about this very scenario happening to a friend of mine, and we're also going to discuss if tip baiting on Uber Eats will soon be a thing of the past. Let's go. If you're on Uber Eats, Spark, or Instacart, chances are pretty good that you've been tip baited. In case you're only on DoorDash, let me explain what tip baiting is in 5 seconds or less. Tip baiting is where the customer offers a large tip to get the order delivered quickly, but once it's delivered, the customer removes the tip. Did I get it in 5 seconds? In my opinion, this is fraud. It's like walking into a store and writing a bad check on purpose with no intention of actually paying for the goods. You can't buy a new car and then pull a Tiger Woods and wreck it and then decide that you're done paying for it. So why is it that customers can order food, eat it, and then decide after their meal that they don't want to pay the agreed upon price anymore? Quasi-economics only exists like that in the gig economy. A few weeks ago, my friend Nate sent me a message about an experience he just had with a customer, and this was one of those times where I got mad for him. This incident happened on Spark, but it just as easily could have happened on Uber Eats or Instacart. Nate picked up the grocery order and made his way to the customer. This specific order was a hand it to me. Remember that, it's going to be important in a moment. Nate knocked on the door and continued unloading his car. Meanwhile, the customer answered the door and started getting the groceries off of her porch. Pretty standard so far, right? Let's continue. After Nate set the last bag down, he thanked his customer and began to walk away. This customer decided to pull a move and tell Nate to his face that she was going to yank the tip from him because he didn't physically hand her the bags. Before we go any further, let me know in the comments if pulling his tip was even remotely warranted. Personally, I don't know how I would have handled this situation. I would have been very tempted to load the shit back up in my car and drive it right back to the store. But I also know that the gig apps almost never side with the driver, and this easily could have resulted in a deactivation. This truly was a lose-lose for Nate, but ultimately, he chose to take the high road and he ignored it. Alright, let's continue. When it comes to a grocery delivery, what does hand it to me actually mean? When it's a food order, it's simple. You smile, hand them their shit, and then you scurry off somewhere. But when it's a grocery order and I see hand it to me, I take that to mean get my attention so my ice cream doesn't melt all over my porch. And Nate did just that. In my opinion, hand it to me on these types of orders are like asking somebody how's it going. You expect to hear 1 or 2 words, not a detailed explanation on where they are in their divorce proceedings or that weird rash that they can't seem to get rid of. Now, it should go without saying that I was not there for this interaction and I didn't deal with this customer myself. But to me, it sure seems like she was looking for a reason to tip bait Nate. We've all heard the phrase that you can't please everyone, and if YouTube has taught me anything, truer words have never been spoken. Let's assume for a moment that she expected Nate to open the door like he owned the place, storm in, and start unloading her shit for her. With this specific customer, hell, she may have increased his tip, but the next time he pulled a stunt like that, he very likely could have gotten a free photo shoot at his county jail. So what are we to do? He didn't try to steal her dog, he didn't forget her milk in the car, and he didn't tell her her perm was ugly. The excuse presented was that he didn't read her mind. I think we can all agree. Generally speaking, customers who tip bait usually aren't that brazen. This lady must have had some to tell a driver to their face that she was about to screw them. Look, we all know how maddening it is to accept an order expecting to be paid one price, but then we turn around and we're paid substantially less. Unfortunately, it's largely an industry standard in gig work, but there may be a little bit of hope on the horizon. A few weeks back, I started seeing this screenshot floating around the internet. At first, I did not want to make a video about this because that screenshot just seems too good to be true. But I was able to verify that that is in fact real. Alright, let's analyze this screenshot together, shall we? Note, once your order is placed, your tip cannot be removed, but extra tips can be added. First, let's talk about what we do know, and then we'll talk about what we don't know. Clearly, tip baiting is on Uber's radar. Fucking finally. In fact, during a recent interview with the Wall Street Journal, when Dara was asked what his worst rideshare experience was, he defaulted to talking about delivery. Dara went out and drove for a while doing both rideshare and delivery, and recently the company decided to turn it into a PR stunt. According to Dara himself, he got tip baited several times, which, in my opinion, is poetic justice, but I digress. Was Dara's experience enough to make positive, long-lasting change for drivers? Maybe, but ultimately time will tell. All right, now let's talk about what we don't know. I haven't been able to figure out if this change is only affecting specific customers that are known to frequently tip bait, or if this is a market by market rollout. If you've experienced this change in your market, please do let me know in the comments. If you drive for Uber Eats, you've seen a customer with a PIN before. They may be assigned a PIN for one of two reasons. Either they're brand new to the platform, or they've reported a suspicious number of orders not delivered. As we all know, it's a very small percentage of customers that actually get PINs assigned to them. So it's very possible that, like the PIN, Uber will only assign this change to customers frequently known to tip bait. So the question is this change only going to affect known tip baiters, or is this slowly going to start displaying on every Uber Eats order that's placed? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Personally, I'm of the opinion that the customer should never be presented with the option to tip bait. If their experience was truly bad enough to warrant removing the tip entirely, then I'd argue that they probably just deserve a full refund. And that should have to go through specially trained support staff. Time will tell how this is ultimately going to play out, but Uber is a giant in this industry, and hopefully, we'll see more and more companies follow suit. What are your thoughts? Is tip baiting a problem for you in your market? Let me know in the comments. Well guys, that is going to about wrap up the video. If you haven't done so yet, please do consider pressing the like button and subscribing to my channel. Also, don't forget, you can catch me and Kim from Kimside Money Plans live on the Rideshare Guy YouTube channel every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. We'd love to see you. My name is Zach. Take care. Alright, before we go any further, let me know in the comments if pulling... Fucking bug.